Ati continues to hide from Crown Prince Adrian, believing the dagger he gave her might mean he intends to kill her. When they finally meet, she tearfully confronts him, but Adrian apologizes and only asks her to continue pretending to be his bride until the real one, Essen, is found. Meanwhile, Ati accidentally frees a captured man, Essen himself, ruining Adrian's plan to capture him. Later, during a grand reception hosted by the Empress, Ati unexpectedly becomes the center of attention when the Empress proudly presents her gift as a priceless masterpiece, making her a new target of jealousy. As the night continues, Ati and Adrian share an uneasy but gentle moment while dancing, but the situation turns dangerous when the escaped Essen appears in the palace again, and suddenly grabs Ati while hiding from the pursuing knights. Ati realizes that this is the very man she freed back then. After that, she quietly utters his name. It has been 3 weeks since Mr. Essen's return, but the main character still does not understand why she is not being released. She knows that in a week it will be the country's founding holiday, and then she will again have to play the role of the prince's partner. Lucy tells the lady that she looks perfect today. She is sure that at the evening reception, the girl will shine brighter than everyone else. After that, she asks her to hurry up, because Mr. Turney is already waiting. Etienne asks the Marquis why he has come so early. He replies that Adrian told him to come to her. Suddenly, the young lady notices a man of incredible beauty. He has luxurious silver hair, blue eyes, and a cold, almost icy aura around him. Turney asks why he is dressed like that. Then he says that perhaps he is seeing her for the first time, and offers to introduce himself. He introduces the girl as his younger sister Etienne, and laughs that now he has 2 sisters. The Marquis suggests that they both call him little brother. Then he says he is glad that the Marquis is wearing women's clothing again for the first time in a long time. After all, to tell the truth, it was entirely his idea. Hearing this, Essen flies into a rage and grabs him. Turney immediately turns to Ati and asks her to save him, because Essen is going to put him into an eternal sleep. At that moment, the girl thinks that maybe he could use a little more. The guy with silver hair says that they are real bastards. He doesn't understand why they dressed him in women's clothes if they already have a new bride. The Marquis sadly says that one of his sisters has disappeared. The main character asks in surprise why Mr. Essen is here. He replies that there cannot be 2 Attis. After all, if he stays in another palace, it will be as if there are 2 of them. The girl knows that there are almost no people in Lily's palace. Almost everyone who knows this secret keeps quiet, and the place is considered safe. It seems that they simply decided to tease Mr. Essen a little in a calm atmosphere, like children. Essen looks at the young lady and does not understand when this girl became Etienne instead of him. Turney reminds him that he himself ran away, and then returned. After that, he asks where he managed to lose his mind. The main character greets the silver-haired gentleman and says that this is their first meeting. He replies that he is pleased to meet her. The Marquis immediately adds that he is ignorant because he is too direct at their first meeting. Hearing this, the main character remembers that he used to do the same thing. Turney notices her gaze and asks why she is looking at him like that. The lady quickly replies that everything is fine. Essen looks at them and thinks they seem quite friendly. Although they used to say they couldn't trust anyone, they have found such a person. So he decides it's worth getting to know her better. The guy asks her what her real name is. She replies that her name is Viola Vilbao. She is an aristocrat and a chambermaid, but her family has gone bankrupt. Essen thinks that they made her a temporary bride, confirming her origins. Then he asks how exactly she became a bride. The girl explains that she came on an errand and accidentally overheard everything. Turney adds that Ati had known Adrian since childhood. He often visited the Oviedo family just to see her, because she was incredibly beautiful at the time. The guy asks in surprise if he has lost his mind. It all sounds as if he is ill. After all, from an outsider's perspective, the girl got involved in this story completely by accident. Not only did she become Adrian's fiancée, but she is also forced to play the role of Turney's younger sister. Essen says that it must have been very difficult for her. Hearing this, the main character realizes that no one has ever tried to understand her feelings before. She suddenly realizes that he is a truly kind person, and she cannot understand how anyone could dislike such a person. Adi thinks that maybe that's why Prince Adrian loves him so much. Then she says that she's okay. Now that Mr. Essen is back, she no longer has to live in constant fear of being exposed. The girl doesn't understand why her heart hurts so much. She thinks that maybe it's because she'll soon have to part with Acacia, and she'll also have to forget all the people she's met here. The prince asks what they are doing now. He remembers that idiot Turney clearly said to bring the girl to the hall before the reception began. Then he looks at the lady and doesn't understand why she has such a strange expression on her face. The Marquis tells the prince that they were just about to leave. Then he asks why he came. Adrian approaches the girl, asks her to look at him, and asks who said what to her. He even asks if those jerks were bullying her. Etienne explains that she just met Mr. Essen for the first time, and they exchanged greetings. Adrian thinks her face looks too serious for such a casual meeting. Turney asks His Highness why he immediately began to suspect something bad. He says that this is precisely why they believe that raising children is an ignoble task, and, in his opinion, it suits the prince perfectly. Essen thinks that he is behaving rather indecently. Then he asks if he can let the girl go. Adrian asks in surprise if he is here too, and the guy reminds him that he just saw him. The prince says he doesn't remember that, and asks why he is here at all. Essen replies that they just happened to meet. The girl turns to His Highness and reminds him that it's time to go to the reception. Adrian urges them to hurry, otherwise they might be late. He takes the lady by the hand and asks Essen if he is going to join them. The blonde-haired guy doesn't understand what happened while he was away. The main character thinks that this time Mr. Essen has really returned. She was mentally prepared for this, so it wasn't such a shock. She has already completed all the necessary tasks, and now all that remains is to return to her place. Ati realizes that although she and His Highness had met several evenings in a row at receptions before the national holiday, he never once mentioned her departure. She assumes that perhaps he simply forgot. The young lady thinks that he has too much on his mind right now because of the Founding Day celebrations. There are people who remember her face, so it's better for her to stay away from the palace. She decides that, in any case, it's worth preparing for her departure in advance. Etienne feels a strange longing. At first, she wanted so badly to get out of here because she was afraid of falling into an eternal sleep. But every time she thinks about actually leaving, her heart sinks. She looks at the dagger she was given and doesn't know what to do with it. Essen comes to the lady and asks if she has a little time. He enters the room and says that everything here has remained the same. At this moment, the main character remembers that Lucy wanted to redecorate the room, but she stopped her, because one day, the real owner would return. The young gentleman asks if she wants anything. The young lady is surprised and asks why he suddenly brought this up. He replies that she was the one who freed him from the office back then, and he promised not to forget her kindness. Therefore, he believes that he should at least repay his debt. Essa wonders why Adrian and Turney have suddenly become so friendly. The girl thinks that he didn't say it just like that. After all, he even came to her to fulfill his promise. Etienne says she is sure that Mr. Essen is a real angel. In terms of kindness, he ranks second among all the people she has met here. Hearing this, the guy says that she is also a little crazy, and then asks again if she wants anything. The main character replies that everything is fine. It is enough for her that he has returned safe and sound. He says that this is a problem because he has already given his word. But the lady assures him that she really does not need anything. Essan says that he will help her in the future if she finds herself in trouble. He asks if she is okay with that. Hearing this, the girl thinks that he is a really kind person. The guy doesn't understand why she is looking at him like that. The young man says that she needs to understand something correctly. He is not as good as she thinks. After all, he is also partly to blame for her becoming Adrian's fiancé. Therefore, he promises that if she needs help, he will do everything he can. Etienne thinks that it's actually all Mr. Essen's fault, but he decides it's wise to keep quiet. The girl thinks that before leaving, she should read as many books as possible. But suddenly, she hears the maids talking. They say that Knight Essen has returned, and that this time, he went south on a hunting trip, carrying out a secret mission. One of the maids says that it is still nice to see Knight Essen again, after such a long time. Then she asks if her friend has seen Mr. Essen and Lady Atchen together. According to her, if you look closely, they even have the same hair and eye color. The main character thinks this is not surprising. After all, they are not real brother and sister. Initially, she became a replacement, precisely because she has the same hair and eyes as Mr. Essen. The maid continues to say that Knight Essen looked especially handsome today. She even hopes to see him again later. Atty notices that the maids have left. She thinks that Mr. Essen is indeed very popular. Walking down the corridor, she notices that Lily's palace is particularly noisy today and begins to wonder what has happened. An hour earlier, Turney said that her brother had arrived. He complains that he is terribly bored and asks where she has gone. Then he notices the suitcase and wonders why her things are already packed. The thought occurs to him that the girl is going to run away because of Essen's return. The Marquis immediately rushes to the prince's office. His Highness wearily asks what has happened this time and adds that if he has come to annoy him, he had better leave immediately. Turney declares that Ati is going to run away. According to him, she decided to leave precisely because Essen has returned. Hearing this, the gentleman thinks that of course he himself promised her freedom. But he remains calm because she didn't say anything at the reception, and yet he feels that he shouldn't have made such a promise. After all, he doesn't want to let her go. Adrian realizes that he wants to see this face next to him a little longer. He becomes curious. Does she hate him so much that she is ready to leave without even saying anything? The Marquis panics and shouts that his sister must not be allowed to disappear. The prince is already leaving, and Diana asks in surprise where he is rushing off to. The prince notices the box and realizes that it contains the dagger he gave her. He thinks that she has no intention of taking it with her. Looking around the room, he realizes that the girl is not there. Lucy asks the crown prince in surprise why he is so angry. The gentleman immediately asks where his bride has gone. Madame explains that she has probably gone to the library. She becomes curious about what happened, since he looks so angry. Adrian quickly heads to the library. In the hallway, he notices the girl and sees that same expression on her face again. She has the same look every time she sees him. His Highness thinks that, even if she hates him, it doesn't matter anymore. He can no longer hide his feelings, fearing the gaze of others. So he asks her not to leave. The prince says that now she cannot go anywhere. He hugs her tightly and says that no expression on her face will save her. After all, she is now his bride, and he will never let her go. The girl asks in confusion what he is talking about. Turney explains that she has packed her things and was about to leave. Etienne explains that she was simply told that she could leave after Mr. Essen returned. Adrien offers to renew their contract and says that his sister has already seen her face without the veil. Hearing this, the main character understands why he said that there is no one else but her. The prince explains that Essen said he would rather fall into an eternal sleep than dress up as a woman again. Therefore, he believes that she has done an excellent job as his bride. Adrien asks her to continue pretending to be his bride until the day he becomes emperor, and when it's all over, he promises her a title and jewels. The Marquis asks the girl to wait just 3 years. Hearing this, the young lady realizes that in 3 years, Prince Adrien will become emperor. Even if it looks like she has calculated everything for the sake of the title, she wants to stay with him a little longer. Etienne agrees and says she will try her best. Returning to her room, the girl thinks she can't believe that it all started because of one suitcase. But she realizes that someday she will have to leave anyway, so it's better to just leave it packed. Suddenly, the young lady notices the handkerchief that Mr. Mikhail once lent her. She realizes that she must return it and wonders if he will be in the garden if she goes there now. Adri finds Mr. Mikhail. He says he hasn't seen Lara in a long time. The lady explains that she has been looking for him for a long time because she can finally return the handkerchief. The man thinks that their meeting happened only because of this handkerchief. He thanks the girl and says that she is in a particularly good mood today. The young lady asks in surprise how he figured that out. She becomes curious, wondering if it's really that obvious. The gentleman begins to explain, but the girl interrupts him and asks if he remembers the story about the man who sent her the dagger. She says that this man constantly threatened her life, but now she has nothing to worry about. Ati says that this man is not truly evil. Besides, she could have left the palace before, but now everything has ended well, and she can stay with him. Mikhail asks what happened to the man who threatened her life. The girl replies that she actually brought trouble upon herself and also feels guilty. The man does not understand why she is so protective of this dangerous person. Seeing the look on her face, he begins to feel a little concerned. The main character thanks him for listening to her today. She says that she had almost no one else to share this with. He replies that if she wants to talk more, she can always come to him. The butler informs them that Her Majesty the Empress has asked if they would like to have lunch with her. Lucy asks the lady what she is going to do. The lady replies that she is grateful for the invitation and will definitely come at the appointed time. Madame tells the lady that she is already settled in perfectly. The girl asks if everything went well. Lucy assures her that everything was fine and advises her to continue in the same vein. After that, she suggests starting to prepare for dinner. The main character is surprised and asks if it is really necessary to prepare so seriously for dinner. Madame replies that of course it is, because she needs to wear a dress that will win Her Majesty's heart. The young lady remembers that this dinner is a real battlefield, therefore she decides to dress up especially beautifully. The Empress invites the girl to sit down. Then she says that she wants to talk to her a little before the meal. The main character immediately thinks that she may have been exposed. She becomes curious about what exactly Her Majesty wants to talk about. The Empress shows her a necklace and asks if she recognizes it. She then says that it belonged to Elena and is considered a treasure of the empire, worth as much as an entire palace. Etienne knows that this necklace contains a golden stone called the Dragon's Eye. This stone is considered one of the symbols of the imperial family. According to legend, the soul of the dragon Agelos was reborn in a human and became the first emperor. Therefore, his descendants have a special pattern in the iris of their eyes, which symbolizes this soul. This pattern is passed down only through direct lineage. When a new emperor is born, the pattern disappears from the brothers and sisters of the previous one. Everything is finally decided at the coronation ceremony, when the emperor's name is engraved on the tablet and the will of heaven is accepted. Ati remembers reading about this in a book. She also remembers that His Highness had the same pattern in his eyes. It was said to be a kind of protective magic, passed down through the blood. It is said that although the imperial family has magic, their own abilities are not very great. Therefore, magicians are rarely born among them. However, their blood is highly resistant to magic, and it is difficult to affect them with spells. The girl thinks she is already scared enough, and now she sees such a historical relic in front of her, and a real one at that. The Empress says that this necklace is passed down from generation to generation, only to empresses, and now she is going to pass it on to her. Etienne thanks Her Highness. But, at the same moment, she realizes that she responded too quickly because this is an incredibly valuable item, and she cannot accept it. Lyudmila says that she once said the same words to the widowed empress. At that time, she also considered herself unworthy. But she heard in response that she just needed to try to become worthy of this necklace. The empress says she wants to tell her the same thing. At first, she was really worried because the girl appeared too suddenly. Besides, Adrian himself brought her, and almost no one knew about her life in the Oviedo family. But after observing her, Her Highness realized that all her worries were in vain. Now she believes she can trust her because her son will need her support. At this moment, the main character wonders how she can earn such trust if she is actually deceiving her. The maid asks her mistress if she will wear this necklace to celebrate Empire Day. The main character is surprised and says that she cannot wear something so valuable. The maid explains that the necklace was made specifically to be worn. In addition, it has the protective magic of the founding king, so it will not break or shatter. She asks her mistress not to worry and to wear it with confidence. Atienne says that, in her opinion, it is too early for that. The maid is surprised and asks what to say to Lady Artie then. The young lady notices that the maid has started calling her by a different name. The maid explains that it is no longer customary to refer to the future crown princess simply as Lady Artie. The main character says that she has gotten used to the old way of addressing her. She even feels a little awkward hearing something different. The maid replies that it is a sign of sincerity and recognition. Now she considers Lady Artie her mistress and promises to continue serving her. The maid says she knows a story. Lord Essen mourned his deceased wife for a long time. But the Empress gave the necklace to Lady Artie, and now she asks the girl why she thinks this happened. The lady replies that perhaps it is because both she and Lord Essen bear the same name, Artien. The maid disagrees. She explains that the gift was made specifically to the current Lady Artie, not to Lord Essen. This means that the Empress recognized her as the future ruler. Lucy adds that she has a special position in the palace. She is connected to the Empress and was the Crown Prince's wet nurse. Therefore, she is unofficially considered almost a member of the imperial family. The woman says that if she had remained just a wet nurse, she would have quietly enjoyed her privileges. But she herself decided to become the chief lady-in-waiting to the future crown princess, so His Highness Adrian asked her for help. The girl understands that because of the story with the fake crown princess, he had to keep many things secret. Therefore, he could not trust the first person he met. Lucy admits that she agreed not only because of the request, she even found it amusing, because she loves to decorate everything around her to her own taste. But because of this, she allowed herself to be a little too familiar with Lady Artie at first. Now she asks for forgiveness for her rudeness. Atienne replies that everything is fine. On the contrary, she considers herself imperfect and is grateful to everyone for their help. Madame says she likes this trait in the girl. She adds that today, even if she is not wearing Elena's necklace, she must wear a tiara on her head, a symbol of her status as the future crown princess. The main character thinks she will have to try hard. Madame reassures her and says that today, Lady Artie will be the main character. But the girl realizes that this is not what worries her at all. The prince approaches her and says that she looks a little tired. He asks if she is okay. Artie replies that everything is fine and wonders if he has noticed how uncomfortable she feels wearing the tiara. Adrian asks if she is ill. The girl says again that everything is fine and she feels normal. His Highness says that if she suddenly feels unwell, she should tell him immediately. After all, caring for her well-being is also part of his duties. The main character thinks she now understands why he is so attentive. He simply cannot allow the celebration of the founding of the empire to be ruined. The little girl happily turns to her sister and says that there is a real celebration outside. She asks if she has ever been to one. The girl thinks she has, but that was when she was known as Artien. Artie replies that she only saw the celebration from afar. Acacia says she wants to go there with her sister. The lady smiles and says she would also like to go with her and suggests doing so next time. The little girl says she wants to go right now. The lady apologizes and promises to go another time. At that moment, she thinks she just needs to wait a few more years. The prince approaches them and asks the girl to forgive him for taking Artie away. The little girl is surprised and asks where he is taking her. The gentleman smiles and says it's a secret. The main character does not understand if it is possible to leave so early every time. It seems to her that the prince does not like parties at all. Artie says she is returning to Lily's palace. Hearing this, the gentleman is surprised and asks where she is going and if she is not going to rest. Adrian explains that he needs to prepare and go to a certain place. Therefore, today they will not be going to Lily's palace, but to another palace. The prince says that as his fiancée, she should know about such things. He tells her that a performance in honor of the founding of the empire will soon take place and, with a slight smile, asks if she would like to go there with him. Artie happily replies that she would love to. He then suggests that she speak to him informally, at least in public, because no one in the crowd will recognize who they really are. The girl asks in surprise how she can speak informally with His Highness. He gently explains that there is no need to call him Highness here. She can simply call him by his name. He asks her to repeat the name Adrian after him, without Sir. The young lady cautiously pronounces his name and immediately thinks about what she has said. He calmly replies that everything is fine and praises her for her courage. Atienne notices to himself that this is the first time he has seen the prince smile so sincerely. He again suggests that she continue to call him Adrian. The girl is worried and asks what other people might think of her. The prince replies that she is the future crown princess, and that is reason enough. What other reason could there be? Then he remembers that Essen also called him by his name when he was in Artia, so he asks her not to worry. The girl calls him Adrian again, and he catches himself thinking that hearing his own name from her lips is unexpectedly pleasant. After that, she asks curiously where they are going. Suddenly, a man approaches them and asks them to come over. He asks if they have come to see the festival, and then enthusiastically tells them that today's fireworks are promised to be especially beautiful. The prince asks the price. Hearing that it costs 10 copper coins, he calmly pays and even says that he doesn't need change. Hearing this, the main character immediately remarks that the price is too high. Usually, such an item costs only 3 copper coins. The young gentleman replies that it doesn't really matter. Prices are always a little higher during the holidays. It's normal. But Ati objects and says that with prices like that, you can go bankrupt in an instant. Adrian smiles and replies that she will definitely not go bankrupt if she always stays with him. Hearing this, the girl does not understand where he got such logic from. The lady says she has blue fireworks, but he has yellow ones. At that moment, she notices that he is looking at the kebab stand and thinks that he must be very hungry. Ati buys 2 kebabs and hands them to him, offering him something to eat. He is a little embarrassed and says that he feels uncomfortable because his hands are full of fireworks. Only then does the girl realize that he has been holding them with one hand all this time. The prince asks her to feed him. The lady thinks that feeding someone right on the street is a little awkward, but realizes that she has no choice and carefully offers him a bite. The main character suggests moving closer to the stage and grabbing a bite to eat on the way. He immediately agrees. A few minutes later, the girl notices that they are already in the square where the performance is taking place. A huge crowd always gathers for the celebration of the founding of the empire. Ati says that people in the front row started taking their seats yesterday. She realizes that there are many people who simply cannot live without such performances. The girl remembers that when she was little, a new troupe performed every year. So every time, the audience was treated to a completely new show. But one day everything changed, and now the same troupe performs every year. The main character admits that she has seen the same performance several times. Because of this, she has grown a little tired of it. Hearing this, the prince thinks for a moment. He finds it strange that the same troupe performs at such a big celebration every year. Adrian says that the performance is about to begin, and there are too many people around. So he suggests that she stay close to him. But suddenly he notices that the girl is no longer there, and she is nowhere to be seen. The prince turns to the black shadow and orders him to find Ati. He tells him to protect her, take her to a safe place, and contact him immediately. At this moment, the main character is confused and wondering what to do. Because of the huge crowd, she doesn't know where she is. But she is also afraid to just stand still, because there are so many people that it will be extremely difficult to get back to the prince. The girl decides that it would probably be better to return to the palace and meet him there. She knows that the palace is visible from afar, so she is sure that it will not be difficult to find her way. Suddenly, a man grabs her by the shoulder and asks with a smirk where she is rushing to, "Little sister." Ati looks at them, and he is surprised and wonders why she is so frightened. The stranger says that there is something interesting nearby and suggests that they go there together. At this point, the main character thinks that these people clearly have vision problems. After all, she looks much younger. She then calmly says that she is already married. The man replies that they are decent people and asks if she really doesn't understand that. He adds that even if she doesn't believe them, they are not going to do anything bad anyway. Ati screams and asks for help. At that moment, the prince appears and asks menacingly who dared to touch her. He hugs her and confidently says that everything will be fine, because he will protect her. The girl says it was those people, but when she turns around, she realizes that they have already run away. He suggests not paying attention to them, because the fireworks will start soon. He suggests leaving and asks if she is very scared. In his opinion, the fireworks will help her calm down. Adrian says that in order not to lose each other again, they should hold hands. Ati looks at the fireworks with delight and says that they are incredibly beautiful. At that moment, the young man thinks that it would be wonderful if fireworks were set off all year round and that they would figure out the budget somehow. The main character asks if he is watching the fireworks. He replies that he is. But then he looks at her, can't resist, and kisses her.